What's up, guys? We're back with a full set of NBA action here on Saturday, February 8th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're also going to look at a couple of the biggest NCAA basketball games on the slate. We're going to be looking at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there's any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, not the best, guys, but honestly, it was two slates that we didn't really love. Not the deepest NBA slate, and definitely not the deepest college basketball slate. We had the 76ers at -2.5. They had their full complement. Their big three was fully intact. They went out there and laid an absolute egg against Detroit, eventually losing 125 to 112. We had the Thunder -19. They had their chances to win that game, but like I said, it was very, very slim pickets out there. They had their chances to cover and win this game by 21 or 22, but eventually end up, kind of letting go of the rope there late, which obviously is predictable there with them having, back-to-back games here. So yeah, not the best day, but we did hit the USC versus Purdue over. That was an easy win. So we'll take one win there. A 1-2 day, obviously not great, but also not the end of the world. So we'll be looking for a bounce back here on a massive Saturday of games. If you want to win all of your bets today, do me a huge favor, hit that like button. If we get to 1,000 likes on this video, we got pretty close yesterday. If we get to 1,000 likes on this video, we're going to be giving away one of these Stump the Spread hoodies absolutely for free. So get in the mix, get in there, hit that like button, and give yourselves a chance to win a hoodie. We're also going to be giving away a hoodie once we get to 50,000 subscribers. We're at somewhere around 47,000 right now. Once we get to that big 50K, we'll be giving away a hoodie then as well. So do me a big favor, hit both those buttons. You can also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments lets me know that I have a real super fan out there, and those channel memberships really just help keep me super motivated to, give you guys the best information I can on a daily basis. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NBA, college basketball, UFC, NHL, and the Super Bowl. We'll have a Super Bowl pick out tomorrow for sure, at least one, maybe more than one. We will also have a whole slew of college basketball premium picks out there, as well as our normal NBA, UFC, and NHL plays. If you're interested in checking StumpTheSpread.com out, there's a link down in the description. Click on that. It'll get you right over there. If you're not ready to sign up for a premium package yet, totally understandable. Just try us out by signing up for our free email list. You get one email each day containing free picks, as well as, updates on how we've been doing recently on the premium side. Also, guys, comment below with any bets you're looking at today. We'll give you our best advice on every single one of those plays. We answer every single comment every single day, so more than happy to get back to you, and we do our very best to get back to you as soon as we can. All those comments go directly to my phone, so I at least see them, and I get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. We've got a 2 p.m. Central Standard Time start on that game. So kind of an early afternoon game. We see Houston coming into this one straight up not having a good time right now. Guys, they've lost how many in a row is it now? Up to 5 in a row. They just lost at Minnesota, and it just feels like this road trip won't end, although they were losing before that too. So yeah, things kind of coming apart right now for the Rockets. Fred VanVleet being down has been a huge problem for this team. Definitely a bigger problem than I would have anticipated. In that loss against the Timberwolves, they had no answers there for Anthony Edwards. He put up, 41 points, so he's on an absolute heater, but we just saw nobody able to really step up and take the reins here for the Rockets. I mean, Sengun was back, but 16 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. That's a good night, but he was a -21. The bench looked good. Cam Whitmore, 16 points, 10 points there from Jock Lawndale, but yeah, 38% from three, and you still lose the game convincingly. So definitely need to see some better play from guys like Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks. He actually played okay in the game, but they just seem like a team that definitely lacks a point guard. And yeah, Houston didn't really do a whole lot to address any of their issues. And not like they really had to, so I guess I don't blame them, but things are not looking great. And Fred VanVleet not going to be back for this game. Other than that, they're healthy, but Fred still dealing with that ankle issue. He's not going to be back for at least another few days. So not going to be the full strength Rockets here as they go on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks, who come into this game fresh off of a big win, guys. A 127 to 120 win there at the Boston Celtics. We were on Dallas and the points in that one. It felt really good to see them come away with a straight up win. It felt great to see Klay Thompson come out and have a huge game. His best game as a Mav, I would say. What do you have? Yeah, 25 points, a +13. Dante Exum actually played some amazing minutes. In his 20 minutes, had 15 points, was a +29. Kyrie gave me reason for concern. He was really having trouble getting around guys, and he did finish the game with 19 points. He was fine out there, but yeah, definitely didn't look like he had his normal speed. The bench was amazing. Najee Marshall, Spencer Dinwiddie, Max Christie all playing amazing. Max Christie definitely deserves a lot more minutes here for the Mavs. Coming into this game, the big news is we're going to see Anthony Davis making his team debut here for the Dallas Mavericks. So that's a big deal. And when you look at this starting lineup and the second unit, guys, this is a really, really dangerous team. So I'm expecting very good stuff from a very healthy Dallas Mavericks team in this one. They are -4 in this game. We've got a total here of 226.5. Houston 17-9-1 against spread on the road, 11-7 against spread after a loss. But guys, I don't really care about that. They are playing horrible right now. Dallas 13-11 against spread at home, 10-15-1 against spread after a win, but those numbers were compiled with a different team out there, and with the depth they now have, they're playing really well. They've got Anthony Davis coming in, and he's healthy. I don't think Houston has any real answers for that. I think Sengun is going to have a straight-up bad time there against Anthony Davis. Give me the Dallas Mavericks here at -4. I'm buying in on the hype. Maybe we'll be a game early on this, but I definitely think Dallas wins this game at home by more than 4. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Indiana Pacers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Pacers 29-21 on the season. They're fresh off a 119-112 win there at the Clippers. So a good game for sure. Siakam going off for 33 points. We saw the Pacers dig themselves out of a 22-point hole in that win. Kind of just a huge choke job there from the Clippers. They're getting to be a pretty annoying team. But Siakam played really well. Mathurin played great. Only 14 points there from Halliburton, 8 assists to go along with it, and he had 4 steals. So he was doing some good stuff out there. He was a +7, but just not having the same season offensively that we expected to see from him after having such a good time a year ago. The bench looked really good. 3 double-digit scores coming off the bench. They won this game despite shooting only 33% from 3, so nothing too bad there. They did a good job keeping things even on the boards, and just really overall, we loved what we saw from the Pacers in that game. They did a good job defensively, and they just did a lot of things really, really well. Is that what we've come to expect from the Pacers this season? I would say absolutely not, but they have been playing well down the stretch. Got to give them credit where credit is due. Siakam has been their best player all season long. I guess that's not a massive, massive shock. They come into this game a little bit banged up. We see Miles Turner on the injury report, and that could be pretty important for them, although maybe not in this particular matchup. We'll see how that goes. He's been ruled out for this game with his ongoing neck issue. I mean, he did play there against the Clippers, so we'll see, what things look like, but he only played 6 minutes there against the Clippers, so clearly that neck thing going to be a problem. We'll see when he's able to get back out there, but it will not be for this game. Other than that, the Pacers come into this game fully healthy. The Lakers come into this one fresh off a 4th straight win. They took down the Warriors in a pretty dismal performance there by the Warriors, who are waiting for Jimmy Butler to arrive. But man, Draymond Green just cannot control himself out there. But we liked what we saw from the Lakers. Once again, they're 30-19 on the season. Obviously, a big night out there from LeBron, putting up 42 points. The dude just refuses to age. The Warriors wasted a huge game there from Steph, although he did shoot 23s in the game and only made 6 of them. So not his typical efficient scoring, but LeBron 42, 23 from Austin Reeves. A very decent game out there from Gabe Vincent, showing some signs of life. 5 of 8 from 3-point range. Not what you expect to see from him, given what we've seen over the course of the season. The Lakers dominated the boards in this game, and really, guys, they've got to be pretty happy with what they got from Jackson Hayes in his limited minutes, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how things play out here for the Lakers in this game, because there's a chance we could be seeing, some of their guys that they have acquired via trade be out there for this game. It's a very crowded injury report right now for the Lakers, though. We see Luka on there. We see Austin Reeves on there. LeBron on there as usual. Mark Williams on there as well. Luka, guys, it sounds like he's not going to play until Monday. He's not going to make his Lakers debut until Monday. So Luka not slated to be out there. Austin Reeves dealing with his elbow issue. He's questionable for this game against the Pacers. We'll see if he's out there. It doesn't sound like he's, definitely going to be missing it at all. It just sounds like it's a theoretical chance. Obviously, an elbow issue, not great. LeBron, he's on there as always. He's been downgraded from questionable to doubtful for this game. So it sounds like LeBron pretty unlikely to be out there against the Pacers. Also, guys, Mark Williams with, that's the whole trade situation. He's questionable for this game. I would kind of guess they'll bring him back, or bring him out there for the first time on Monday, just like they're planning on doing with Luka. So, looks like it's not going to be the full-strength Lakers here. They're getting 2.5 points, which really makes me think it's not going to be the full-strength Lakers. We got a total of 231.5. The Pacers, 15-13 against spread on the road, 12-16 against spread after a win. The Lakers, 14-9 against spread at home, 15-13-1 against spread after a win themselves. Guys, we obviously have to wait a little bit here on some injury news. We have to get a confirmed lineup here for the Lakers, but I right now definitely want to be fading the Lakers under the assumption that LeBron and Mark Williams and, basically it maybe even, maybe we see Austin Reeves sit this one out also. That's going to be a real problem. Like the Lakers without LeBron or, now Luka, not going to be very good. So definitely give me the Pacers here at -2.5. Next up, guys, we got the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to take on the Orlando Magic. The Spurs come into this game 22-27 on the season, fresh off of a pretty devastating 117-116 loss there to the Hornets. Yeah, a great drive there from Ball, a great pass there to Miles Bridges, who knocks down the shot with 1.4 seconds left to give the Hornets the 1-point lead. We've seen all kinds of crazy heroics from the Hornets this year. It's been pretty interesting. We've also seen some collapses there by the Spurs. And yeah, once you've acquired De'Aaron Fox, you're not supposed to be losing these games. Castle actually was the leading scorer there from the Spurs. He looked amazing. 3 of 5 from 3, 10 of 15 from the field, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, and scored 33 points. The starting lineup, though, not as good, guys. Wemby, only 16 points, really struggled shooting the ball from 3, going 1 for 9. De'Aaron Fox played pretty well. 6 assists, 4 steals, and 22 points, but he was a -7. Just not enough to get him over the top. You can't shoot 30% from 3, and we haven't loved what we've seen from Wembanyama recently. So, yeah, they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to shoot the ball better, and, yeah, they just take the loss here. Kind of an unlucky loss, but regardless, you can't let games like this go down to the wire against a team that you're supposed to comfortably beat. So, we'll see what the Spurs can do here in a bounce-back spot, playing on no rest. They are currently listed as everybody's going to play. Keep a close eye on that injury report, though. That could certainly change here as they go on the road to take on the Orlando Magic, who got a win there against the Kings, to snap this skid, but they followed that up with a pretty weak performance there at Denver, losing 112-90 against Jokic, who put up his 24th triple-double of the season. We didn't love what we saw from Orlando in that game. Wendell Carter Jr. actually led the team in scoring. Paolo, a -19, scored 18 points. Franz Wagner, a -21, scored 14 points. Both guys looked tired. Both guys looked kind of out of shape. As a team, Orlando shot only 5 of 31 from three-point range. So they clearly find themselves in a bounce-back spot after just a terrible, terrible game there on the road. We haven't loved what we've seen from the Magic here recently. So definitely kind of a weird situation. They're still missing Jalen Suggs. This team didn't really do anything at the trade deadline, which isn't super shocking. They've got a very solid young core, but yeah, we see Jalen Suggs doubtful for this game on Saturday against the Spurs. Sounds like he's not going to be out there. That quadriceps injury still keeping him sidelined. They need him out there. Clearly, this guy, much bigger part of the success of this team than you would have thought before you saw both Franz Wagner and, Paolo Banchero go down. So Suggs not probably going to be out there for this game. Other than that, the Magic are healthy. Looking at the numbers for this one, Orlando 1.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 219.5. San Antonio 11-12 against spread on the road, 14-12 against spread after a loss. Orlando 14-9-1 against spread at home, 4-5 against spread on no rest. And they are 10-16-1 against spread after a loss. So it's a little bit tough to be taking really tough to be taking either team in this spot, to be honest. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Orlando since they're at home. They're going to be feeling maybe a little bit of relief, playing this game out, like coming out of elevation. So maybe that won't be quite as hard, but it's also kind of a, not the best travel spot, guys. You just played at Denver, and now you've got to play at now you're playing at home in Orlando. So we'll see. This isn't a game that's going to end up in the pinned comment for me either way. I don't trust either one of these teams at all right now. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list, get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Next on the dock, we've got the Atlanta Hawks going on the road here to take on the Washington Wizards. Atlanta comes into this game 24-28 on the season, despite, trading everybody away there at the trade deadline. Trae Young refuses to give up in this game against Milwaukee and brings them back to help them overcome a 21-point deficit and win that game 115-110. Yeah, Trae Young, guys, I don't know what their plan for him is on this franchise down the road, but yeah, he's pretty much out there by himself, or him and Dyson Daniels. I think Ricochet will be good down the road, but the bench has been completely gutted now, and this is just straight up not a good team. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Atlanta Hawks here down the stretch, but it's not looking great. Niang, Karis LeVert, these guys that were acquired via trade, Terrence Mann, doesn't really appear that any of them are going to be playing in this game. We don't know for sure. I mean, they're all listed as out for that game against the Bucks. Will they play in this game? It's not impossible, but I would also not be holding my breath. So we'll see. We don't have any clarity. If you know whether these guys are going to be playing, if you've seen something out there that I can't find, please let me know down in the comments. But right now, I don't think any of these guys are going to be playing for Atlanta as they go on the road here to take on the Washington Wizards, who are 9-42 on the season. They just had their little 3-game winning streak snapped by Cleveland. Although they kept things competitive, they ended up losing 134-124. This Wizards team, also a team that, did its kind of best to get worse there at the trade deadline. We saw Jordan Poole go nuts. Maybe he's a little relieved to not be traded. I don't know what the deal is, but he was terrible from three, only 4 of 17 from long range, but still managed to score 45 points in the loss. So good stuff from him. Kispert did okay off the bench. Just not a team that I see a lot of, solid things coming in the future. Although we'll see what happens. They do have guys that they could play. I just don't know if they're really going to want to play these guys as they're, pretty actively trying to tank things out. They've got Middleton now. We see Sarr there on the injury report. Brogdon, Marcus Smart. There's some definite, pieces on this team now. If they wanted to try and be competitive this season, they could. It sounds like there's a chance Chris Middleton plays in this game. We don't know for sure. Alex Sarr, guys, he's dealing with an ankle issue. He didn't play on Friday. Will he play here on Saturday? Still very up in the air. Brogdon didn't play. Is he going to play here? I don't know. He hasn't been playing very much this year at all. And we also don't know what the status really of Marcus Smart is, but is that really going to move the needle for me too much? I'm not 100% sure. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Wizards are getting 5.5 points, which makes me think most of these guys are not going to be playing. We've got a total here of 243.5, so a massive, massive total. Atlanta, 13-14 against the spread on the road, 4-6 against spread on no rest, 11-12 against spread after a win. Washington, 11-14 against spread at home, 2-6 against spread on no rest, 16-23-2 against spread after a loss. This is another really, really weird spot, guys. I'm actually going to be siding slightly here towards the Wizards getting 5.5 points, but we really don't know who's going to be out there. We see Jordan Poole getting guarded by Dyson Daniels. I don't expect him to have a good time, so yeah, give me a little bit of a lean, but I don't know. This isn't a game where I trust either team, so I'm not super interested in this spot. Next up, guys, we're starting to get into some real games here. We've got the Golden State Warriors going on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls. The Warriors come into this one fresh off a 120-112, pretty disappointing loss there at the Lakers. The question for this team is, when is Jimmy Butler going to come back? That's going to be a big, big determining factor in what's going to work out here. But guys, in that loss against the Lakers, Steph doing everything he could possibly do out there, fired up 35 shots, a ton of threes, and just not having a lot of luck. Somehow he only shoots 5 free throws in the game. He comes and he's in the press conference, guys, with literal welts standing up on his forehead. The dude gets the crap beat out of him every game, gets no calls at all. So we'll see how that goes down the stretch. I don't see that suddenly changing. Draymond scored 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, managed to have 5 fouls, get a very unfortunate technical foul, and really do everything he could to help us cash our Lakers -6.5 bet, which did cash, so we'll take it. Thank you, Draymond, but my God, it's pretty brutal to watch him just be out there, just submarining the Warriors every chance he gets, it feels like. Steph clearly just sick of his shit. It's getting really, really brutal out there watching Draymond Green at any point. So I kind of wish they would have moved him at the trade deadline. They didn't. They acquired Jimmy Butler, so we'll see how things go there. The bench didn't play amazing. We did see Moody and Pat Spencer play well in the game, but other than that, not a lot of positives for a Warriors team that only shot 30% from the field in this game. So definitely going to need a bounce back here. The main question is the Jimmy Butler situation. How is that going to work? Well, we are about to find out, guys, because he is going to be playing in this game. It's looking like it's going to be a starting lineup, and guys, this blows my mind that this is the case. Maybe Steve Kerr is crazy. I don't know, but the starting lineup is going to be Steph, Buddy Hield still starting. We're going to have Jimmy Butler in the starting lineup. That's good. Draymond in the starting lineup, and Quentin Post. I guess they need shooting, but honestly, guys, I'd rather have Pajemski or Moses Moody there in the starting lineup. Obviously, I would think, we're going to have Kuminga there in the starting lineup at some point, but we still don't know when Kuminga's going to be back. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors. We definitely are going to be hoping that Moses Moody and Santos can both be available for this game. Moody is probable. Santos is questionable. So we'll see what happens there. They're going to be taking on the Chicago Bulls, who come into this game fresh off of a blowout loss at the hand of the Timberwolves. They are 22-30 on the season. Chicago, they didn't exactly try and get better there at the trade deadline. We'll see how things work out for them down the stretch. Jacoby White, guys, 20 points for him. Every starter scored in double figures, so that looks good. But yeah, they shot only 48% from the field, 33% from three. They got destroyed, completely manhandled there on the board. So definitely something they're going to have to work on. They've still got Vujicic on the roster. Other than that, not a lot of rebounding threats. So we'll see what goes on for the Bulls here. They come into this game. Lonzo Ball listed as day-to-day. Kevin Huerter day-to-day. Trey Jones also on the injury report. So really don't know who's going to be 100% available. Lonzo dealing with an illness right now, so he's questionable. Huerter, guys, just got traded. Sounds like he won't play until Saturday, so it sounds like he could be out there for this game, but he doesn't move the needle that much for me. And Trey Jones, guys, there's also a chance that he plays here on Saturday, so we'll have to wait and see, but neither one of those guys have a huge impact on who I like in this game. Looking at the numbers, the Bulls are 6.5-point underdogs at home. We've got a total of 235.5. The Warriors 11-11-1 against spread on the road. They are 9-16 against spread after a loss. The Bulls 12-13-1 against spread at home and 6-14-2 against spread after a loss. So they're terrible against spread off a loss. They've got a whole bunch of new dudes who are trying to work into the lineup. The Warriors, I don't really know how high I'm supposed to be on them after this Jimmy Butler situation. I'm leaning slightly towards Golden State to get a convincing win in this one, as they have to be desperate at this point to kind of turn things around, but I don't know if I'm nearly convinced enough to put this in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we got one of the most exciting games on the slate. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Thunder last night got a comfortable 121-109 win there against the Toronto Raptors. The game was in Oklahoma City, so now they just, have to travel to Memphis. So not the craziest flight, but obviously playing on a back-to-back here, not the easiest situation. We'll see what goes on. Jalen Williams actually led the team in scoring in that one. SJ put in 25, Jalen Williams put in 27, and they didn't have to really, go at it, super hard against not a very good Toronto team. We liked what we saw from the Thunder in general, although they had an off shooting night, so maybe we'll see them, bump those numbers back up. Chet Holmgren came back, played 22 minutes, was a plus 22 out there. Didn't have to score to really impact the game. He only scored 4 points, but 2 steals, 1 assist, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks. Like, this team all of a sudden is even scarier. So we'll see what they can do here playing on back-to-back nights. They look like they're going to be not quite fully healthy for this one, and it could be pretty important because Dort is on the injury report as well as Carson Wallace. Now, Dort didn't play in this one due to back spasms against Toronto, so will he be back and ready to go against the Grizzlies? I think there's a very, very real chance that this was more precautionary and they were just holding him out of this game to not play, both parts of this back-to-back. Carson Wallace with his shoulder issue was out of this game, and I don't think he really moves the needle for me that much. So we'll see what the Thunder can do here on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 35-16 this season. They've actually won 4 in a row, but when you're winning against the Raptors, Spurs, Bucks, and the floundering Rockets, I'm not going to alert the press, but they are playing well, so they deserve some credit here. In their blowout win there against the Raptors, Jaren Jackson Jr. continued to play amazing. Ja Morant played really, really well. Zach Edey playing great, 5 of 5 from the field, 15 rebounds as well. They dominated the Raptors out there. So that's nice, but I need to see you play well against some good teams, and maybe we'll see that in this one. I mean, Memphis comes in this game healthy, except for Desmond Bane, who's out. Yeah, it's going to be, it seems like it's going to be a minute until Bane comes back. He's questionable for this game with that ankle issue, but you're not going to be rushing somebody like Desmond Bane back from an ankle issue. So doubt that we see him in this game. I would definitely think he's closer to doubtful than questionable, but we'll have to see. I guess it's not impossible that he plays given that injury designation. Looking at the numbers here, Memphis actually getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 241 out there. The Thunder 12-9-2 against spread on the road, 5-4 against spread on no rest. They are 24-13-2 against spread after a win. Memphis 18-8 against spread at home. They're also 21-13 against spread after a win. Guys, the Thunder are going to be tired. I think the Grizzlies have a lot to prove in this game. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see guys like Chet Holmgren play in the second half of a back-to-back, so have to keep a close eye on that, make sure everybody's available for the Thunder. I think if Dort is out, that's a big deal for this game. So right now, I'm leaning towards the Grizzlies getting 2.5 points here at home, but going to have to keep a very close eye on that, keep a close eye on the injury report, because that's going to have a huge impact on this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Portland Trail Blazers going on the road in this one to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Blazers have stayed incredibly hot, guys. They've now won 6 in a row, and what is that? 10 out of their last 11. They're up to 23-29 on the season. They're fully healthy. They didn't go bonkers there at the trade deadline and get rid of a bunch of dudes. They're coming off a 108-102 win there against the Kings. Got to feel good about Anthony Simons putting up a nice little 30-piece. 18 points there from Ayton. He played well. 12 points from Jeremy Grant. He's been great on both ends of the floor. Shadion Sharp has looked like a monster. He's coming off of a 24-point performance. Scoot actually was kind of mediocre, only played 22 minutes, only had 5 points, but was still a +5. As a team, Portland shot 40% from the field. They did a good job there keeping things even on the boards, and they, did a good job of containing Sabonis. They gave up some to Levine, some to Monk, but not a bad night out there for Portland, and they come with a 6-point win, so really, what are you going to complain about there? The Blazers come into this game, a couple guys on the injury report, Denny Adjeva and Scoot Henderson, both on there, and both fairly important to this team. It seems like Adjeva, he is questionable there with a hand issue. He did play against Sacramento, but only played 18 minutes, so I'm a little bit concerned about his situation. He could miss this game, like legitimately miss this game, so that would be a problem. Scoot, on the other hand, with his ankle issue, is questionable as well. I think he's very likely to miss this game. It'd be his first game missed since December 6th, so that's a pretty good run there for Scoot. But without both of these guys, what kind of situation does that put Portland in? I mean, I think that just means more shady on Sharp. I don't really care too much about that. That's fine. I think if we have more Banton out there, I don't know how much I love that, but Anthony Simon's getting some extra minutes. I'm all for that. So we'll see what the Blazers do on the road here against the Timberwolves, who are playing a little bit better. They've won their last 2 in a row. They're only 29-23 on the season, though, so that's obviously less than ideal. We've loved what we've seen from Anthony Edwards recently. He's been playing out of his mind. Also him, just staring down, just making Dylan Brooks look like the idiot that he is. That feels pretty great. Yeah, Ant putting up 41. 16 there from Mike Conley. He's looking a little bit more playable over the last couple days, but let's not freak out too much. It's still Mike Conley out there at 1,002 years old. Not having the biggest, one of the biggest ball stoppers in the league out there certainly seems like it's helping guys. No Julius Randle seems like major addition by subtraction. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The injury report's a bit crowded. We see Julius Randle on there listed as out for this game. Yeah, he'll be reevaluated in a couple weeks. So no Julius Randle for the foreseeable future. Anthony Edwards actually questionable due to right hip soreness. I'd be a little bit surprised to see him sit this game out. It could be his second game of the season that he misses, so we'll see. He's been playing out of his mind, so that's obviously something to keep a big eye on, but where the spread is at doesn't make me think that he's going to be out for this game. Mike Conley with his finger issue, he is questionable for this one as well. Looking at the numbers here, the Timberwolves are 5.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 216.5. Portland, 14-9-1 against spread on the road. They are 15-6-1 against spread after win. That is an NBA best after a win mark. Minnesota, 7-18-1 against spread at home. That's an NBA worst at home mark. They are 13-15 against spread after win. Guys, this is system play. We are fading the Minnesota Timberwolves playing at home, and we are definitely taking the Portland Trail Blazers coming off of a win. Give me the Blazers here, getting 5.5 points. I think that's way too many. I think this is closer to a coin flip game there at the end. It'll probably come down to the last couple of possessions. I definitely want to be on the team that's getting 5.5 points. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the biggest game of the night. We've got the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. The Celtics come into this game fresh off of an embarrassing performance against the Mavericks, guys. They end up losing to the Mavs, not the full B squad, but losing to the Mavericks 127-120 in a game that wasn't nearly that close. It only got that close once the Celtics cleared the bench and once the Mavs kind of let go of the rope and stopped trying. Klay Thompson went nuts against Boston in this game. We saw pretty mediocre performances from everybody in the starting lineup except for Jaylen Brown, who did have 25 points, but he was still a -15. Boston got destroyed in this game despite shooting 43% from three-point range. Some of those did come in garbage time late. I mean, it was a big game there from Peyton Pritchard, 21 points off the bench from him, but the starting lineup just did not have it in this game, and they just got overwhelmed. They played really poor defense in the game. There was a lot of shot making there from Dallas, sure, but it was an embarrassing performance there for the Boston Celtics. So they find themselves in a big bounce back spot here on the road against a pretty good team. They're not going to be at full strength for this one, it doesn't look like. Apparently, Jrue Holiday going to be out for this game. Yeah, still dealing with that shoulder injury. He is confirmed out for this one. I don't really think they care about how much he plays in the regular season. I think they just want to have their lockdown defender out there for the postseason. So we'll see how things go there. They're going to be needing to have a much better game here against the Knicks, who have won their last 2 in a row, and what is it up to now? 7 of their last 8 in total. They're 34-17 on the season. They got a 6-point win against the Raptors their last time out, so good stuff there. Obviously should have been maybe a little bit easier of a win than it was. Jalen Brunson, a big game, 28 points, 27 there from Cat. He played really well and went 2 of 3 from 3, so seems like the three-point shot is back for him, something that's been a little bit off here lately. The bench did look pretty bad there for the Knicks, but I think that's something that's just going to continue to happen. This team made no moves there at the trade deadline, so I guess I think Mitchell Robinson is going to come back and be their big man in the playoffs and stay healthy for long enough in the playoffs to get the job done, but that seems like a little bit of wishful thinking to me, but we'll see what happens in that one. Obviously, you got to do what you can now because your situation is pretty much fixed here. The Knicks injury report doesn't look great, guys. We see Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns all on there. Obviously, very, very important pieces. Hart is listed as probable, so his knee thing clearly not going to keep him out. Hasn't been keeping him out of any games. OG Anunoby is listed as doubtful for this game, so there's a chance he plays. He hasn't played since the first against the Lakers, and wasn't, was playing really well until going down with that foot injury. So we'll see what happens with him. I kind of tend to doubt that they would try and rush him back. I mean, obviously listed as doubtful, probably not going to be out there. Karl Anthony Towns, he's probable for this one, so I think we're certainly going to see him out there. I don't think that knee issue is a real thing. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Knicks are getting 2 points here at home. We've got a total of 229.5. Boston 11-14-1 against the spread on the road this season, but they are 12-3 against the spread coming off of a loss. The Knicks 14-12-1 against spread at home. They are 16-16-1 against spread after a win. Guys, this is another system play. We are going to be taking the Boston Celtics pretty much every time this season when they are coming off of a loss. Want to fade them coming off of a win? Definitely want to target them coming off a loss. Give me the Celtics here at -2. This is definitely a great spot. This is going right there in the pinned comment for sure. I think the Celtics have a huge bounce back here against a Knicks team that's, very, very shallow. I think Boston has a lot more depth here, and I think that really shows in this game. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Nuggets come into this game fresh off a 112-90 beat down there against the Orlando Magic. We saw Jokic go nuts for a triple-double. The dude is just, kind of unarguably the best basketball player in the NBA at this point. It's getting just pretty out of hand, the kind of numbers he can put up on a daily basis. It's very, very crazy stuff. He's just playing out of his mind, and it doesn't seem to change on a night-to-night basis. He played really well. We've seen Michael Porter Jr. continue to play great. He put up 30 points and is on one hell of a hot streak shooting the ball. Is that going to last forever? I would say no, but it's lasting for a little bit, and that will work. Denver shot 40% from 3 in this game. They only shot 57% from the free throw line, so definitely something to work on. They had a nice edge there on the board, so that's a big positive. So we'll see what Denver can do here. I'm liking what we're seeing from the Nuggets recently. Obviously, they've been playing really well. We are worried about their injury report, though. That's looking very sketchy. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, all on there. Westbrook still not going to be back, so definitely not looking great. Jamal Murray with that knee issue, fully questionable for this game. Michael Porter Jr. with his hamstring, also questionable, and Aaron Gordon with his calf problem is questionable as well. So, as you see, not the full-strength Denver Nuggets here as they go on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns, who are fresh off of just a couple minutes ago getting an overtime win there against the Utah Jazz. They gave the lead late, should have lost this one straight up. Eventually, they do come away with a win in overtime, but man, it was far from easy. And yeah, not what you're wanting to see if you're a Phoenix Suns fan. Overtime to beat the tanking Utah Jazz. We were on the Jazz and the points as a premium pick in that one, so we'll definitely take it. It got real sketchy there in overtime. We'd have lost that one in overtime. We had the Jazz +9. That would have been devastating. But obviously, we predicted a big game there for Markkanen. He played really well, so that all feels pretty good. Booker really dragged this team to the win. He put up 47 points in the game. We didn't see either KD or Beal play in this one. So a gutsy win there from Devin Booker. Has to feel like back in the olden days when he was dragging this terrible team to wins. Now they've got one of the worst payrolls in the NBA, and still having to fight for wins like this has to feel terrible. Grayson Allen played amazing. We did see Booker play 49 minutes in this game, so that's obviously far from ideal. So we'll see what kind of injury report we really get once it's out. I would expect guys like Durant and Beal to possibly play here in the second half of this back-to-back, but we definitely do not know for sure as of right now. So could be a very weird game with a lot of guys on both sides sitting out. Right now, it looks like the Suns are getting 4 points. We got a total of 234.5. Denver, 12-15 against spread on the road, 17-14-1 against spread after a win. The Suns, 7-16-1 against spread at home, 2-6-1 against the spread on no rest. So pretty terrible. And that number certainly would get worse with them being in overtime. And Phoenix, 5-19-1 against the spread after a win. So I'm going to be leaning here towards the Denver Nuggets at -4. Obviously, not going to be putting this thing in the pinned comment until we have a lot more clarity on who's actually going to play in this game. Next up, we're looking at the New Orleans Pelicans going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The Pelicans come into this game 12-39 on the season, fresh off getting obliterated in back-to-back games there at Denver. So that can't feel very good. They've had everybody back, like Zion putting up 28 points, 11 of 19 from the field, Very, very good stuff. It seems like a lot of guys were kind of scared into coming back and actually playing some basketball by that whole Luka trade. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe this would have happened regardless for Zion, but he is playing well when he's out there. Trey Murphy III is playing out of his mind. He put up 25 points in this game, 9 assists as well, 5 rebounds. Like, he's playing fantastically well, but yeah, CJ McCollum, not so hot in this game. I mean, I guess he had 19 points, but he was a minus 23, and I don't know, guys. This team just not doing what it was supposed to do this season. They trade away Brandon Ingram. I think that's probably a smart thing to do, but yeah, they can't even stay attached there to the Denver Nuggets. That is not a very good look. We see the Pelicans coming into this one, guys. Everybody that you want to be ready to go is pretty much ready to go. I mean, they added Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk. Do I care about those guys? No, I do not care about those guys. So we'll see how things look for New Orleans. Obviously, having McCollum, Murphy, Javonte Green, Zion, Missy, all ready to go. We'll see what they can do in this one on the road against the Sacramento Kings, who are fresh off a 6-point loss against the Blazers. The Kings obviously swapping De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. We'll see how that works out. We'll see what Sabonis is able to do for this team down the stretch, but it has not looked great. I mean, at the Trailblazers, guys, DeRozan led the team with 22 points. That's looking like one of the worst moves in recent memory. Not as bad as the Karl-Anthony Towns, Julius Randle situation, but not looking great in terms of moves that were made last offseason. Zach LaVine, 22 points. He actually played pretty well, but this team just not really feeling it right now. Doesn't look like a team that's built to win at the moment. They also come into this game pretty healthy, so we'll see if that translates into success, but that has not been the case recently and not so far this season. So looking at the numbers, the Kings are somehow 7-point favorites. We've got a total of 237.5. New Orleans 7-18 against spread on the road. That's an NBA worst road mark. They are 14-23-1 against spread after a loss. The Kings 8-15-3 against spread at home and 9-14-2 against spread after a loss. So both teams showing terrible trends in this spot. I can just go where my brain points me, and that's towards the Pelicans getting 7 points against a bad Sacramento Kings team. I mean, who on this Kings team can slow down Zion? Who can slow down Zion regardless? Almost no one. I do think Sabonis could be in for a big game in this one. Obviously, we expect most of the guards to have a good time, except for whoever's being guarded by Trey Murphy III. So we'll see what happens. I do expect this game to be relatively high scoring. Do I want to take over 237.5? Probably not, but I definitely like the Pelicans and the points. Next on the docket, guys, we've got the Utah Jazz going on the road here to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. The Jazz are obviously going to be very, very exhausted for this game coming off that overtime loss against the Suns. They had their chances to win that game for sure. We saw John Collins continue to play great. Really wish he would have got moved to a contender because I think he can help some pretty good teams. But 21 points for him, 20 there from Markkanen. Walker Kessler had 15. As a team, we saw the Jazz shoot only 27.1% from three. They could have upped that a little bit. They certainly would have won this game. But hey, they got us the cover. We had the Jazz at +9, so we will definitely take it. They're going to be tired, guys. There's no way they're not going to be tired. We obviously see, Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson sitting this one out. They're not going to play in this one either. KJ Martin, there's a possibility he could play in this game, but I also think it's possible that guys like John Collins or Markkanen or Kessler could sit this game out or at least be very, very tired here as they go on the road to take on the Clippers, who are riding a 3-game losing streak and are kind of just looking like crap right now, if I'm being honest. I mean, losing 119 to 112 in a game against the freaking Pacers, where you had a massive 22-point lead. Like, Harden played okay, not able to stem the tide, down the stretch though. Kawhi, 19 points, all of his numbers look fine, but you couldn't come up with anything at the end of the game. Like Zubac, 15 and 18, you just can't come up with enough to, stem the tide in this game. Is crazy to me. Coffee, 14 points off the bench, but this bench looks terrible right now. So we'll see what the Clippers can get done here. They're fully healthy coming into this game. I think adding Bogdanovic could really, really help. When will he be available for this team? Sounds like maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's dealing with conditioning issues right now, so maybe he'll be back for this one, but it seems unlikely to me. The Clippers are 13-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 223.5. The Jazz 15-11 against the spread on the road, 2-5 against the spread on no rest. The Clippers 18-9 against spread at home and 12-10 against the spread after a loss. I'm leaning towards the Clippers here, but -13 is too many points for me to put this anywhere near the pinned comment. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and do some college basketball plays. We're only covering 3 of them. Obviously, it's a massive, massive slate of college basketball action there on Saturday. We're going to have free picks in the in the free pick tab at stumpthespread.com, and we will have somewhere between 5 to 10, maybe who knows how many. We're going to have a bunch of premium college basketball picks over there at Stump the Spread for this massive, massive Saturday slate. So definitely want to think about clicking the link in the description, getting over there, signing up. You at least want to get on the email list for this one because we'll have a free college basketball pick coming out and we will have free Super Bowl picks coming out very, very soon as well. So definitely want to get over there. Now, guys, let's dive in and look at one of the biggest games of the day. We've got number 6 Florida going on the road to take on number 1 Auburn. Florida comes into this game fresh off a nice win against Vanderbilt. 11-point win, definitely a nice bounce back for them after getting handled comfortably there by Tennessee. We saw Walker Clayton Jr. come back. He's still clearly not at 100% from that ankle thing, but things are looking okay. We'll say they're at least looking okay here for him. Heading in the right direction, but he's about to get severely tested going on the road to play against the best team in the NCAA right now and in one of the toughest environments in the NCAA. In their win against Vanderbilt, we saw good stuff there from the Gators. They shot 47% from three, not something you're going to see every day. Only 60% from the free throw line is concerning. They did a great job on the boards. They did a decent job taking care of the ball. They really just played a very good game against a very solid team, especially there in the second half. So liked what we saw from Florida. We've liked what we've seen from them in general this year, but it doesn't feel like they're at exactly full strength at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Walter Clayton Jr., his health is a big deal for this game. They're fourth in the nation rebounding. They're a very good defensive team. They're top 18 in the NCAA in points per game. So liking a lot of things right now for Florida, but we are loving basically everything here for the Auburn Tigers. They are 21-1 on the season. They're fresh off a 98-70 win at home against Oklahoma, so they're still at home for this one. They've got Vanderbilt on deck, so not a look-ahead spot there at all. Yeah, they're playing amazing, guys. They're playing amazing. Johnny Broome looking like a monster out there. Only had 15 points in the win, but he didn't even have to play too much. He only played 26 minutes. Like, they obliterated Oklahoma. They were up by 10 at halftime and ended up winning this game by 28. So, yeah, very, very good stuff there. They won walking away despite shooting 30% from three, but still shot over 50% from the field. So, just great stuff from the Tigers, guys. And they're amazing. I mean, they're 8th in the nation in points per game. They're only allowing 66.7 points per game. Their rebounding is amazing. Their ball movement on offense is amazing. And they've got the best player on the floor in pretty much every single spot. So looking at the numbers here, guys, Auburn, 8.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 156.5. Florida, 2-3 against spread on the road, 14-8 to the under. Auburn, 6-3-1 against spread at home and 13-9 to the over. Guys, as are for a YouTube pick in this game, we're definitely leaning towards Auburn to get the win and cover at -8.5. This probably isn't going in the pin comment, but I definitely like the Auburn Tigers here at home. They're just too tough of a team, and with, Florida's best player probably not still being at 100%. Like, if you've played basketball and you roll your ankle, that thing's not the same for a little bit. So definitely give me Auburn at home in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at an ACC showdown between the number 2 Duke Blue Devils and the Clemson Tigers. Duke's been playing amazing. They come into this game fresh off a 29-point win there at Syracuse. So, yeah, playing on the road, no problem this season for Duke. They just continue to be amazing. They're 6-1 against spread on the road. They just cruised against Syracuse there. Obviously seeing a big day there from Proctor. He played really well. Cooper Flagg only 11 points in his 28 minutes, but he did not have to exert himself really in any way in this game. Just good stuff across the board from Duke. I mean, they had double-digit scores coming off the bench. They shot almost 40% from three. They did a great job on the boards, and they just, suffocated Syracuse there on defense. So loved what we saw from Duke in that game. Obviously, it was supposed to be, a relatively easy game for them. Well, they made it look really, really easy. Cooper Flagg, obviously going to be the best player on the court in basically every single game. Duke's top 50 in every major statistic or better. They're a just insanely good defensive team, allowing under 60 points per game as they just rampage here through the ACC. I mean, they're 12-0 in conference play. When are they going to lose a game? Well, maybe it could be in this one, guys, as they go on the road to take on the Clemson Tigers, who are 18-5 on the season. They're in a bounce-back spot, fresh off a kind of brutal 3-point loss there against Georgia Tech. Obviously, that's pretty rough to lose there and the triple overtime. Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy game there. Devastating to end up losing it, but we'll see what they can do. They've got a chance to have a big, big statement game here, playing at home against Duke. In that, loss against Georgia Tech in triple overtime, you can't even take most of these numbers seriously because it's so wild. But yeah, they didn't do a very good job on the boards at all. That's going to be a problem against Duke. They shot the ball okay from three, but terrible from the field. And yeah, I don't know. Seems like a rough spot here for Clemson. I mean, over the course of the season, they've put up some good numbers. I mean, we like Chase Hunter, 17.7 points per game. Nothing wrong with that. They're, around the top 100 in points per game, but their rebounding is concerning, and their defense is not on the same level as Duke. So, looking at the numbers for this one, guys, Clemson's getting 7.5 points. We've got a total of 134.5. Duke, 6-1 against spread on the road, 13-9 to the under. Clemson, 6-7 against spread at home, and 12-11 to the under. Guys, I'm taking Duke at -7.5. I know that's pretty chalky, but I just don't think there's any way that Clemson could hang with Duke right now. The Blue Devils not having any trouble playing on the road. This is not a big look-ahead spot either. They're playing at home against Cal next. That's not going to be a tough game. Clemson, they have North Carolina on deck, so maybe that's a little bit of a look-ahead spot. And yeah, I have no faith in Clemson compared to the amount of faith I have in Duke right now. This is not a homer pick. A lot of times I pick against Duke, but in this spot, I definitely like Duke. This could even be a premium pick at stumpthespread.com. Last but not least, guys, we have something of a nightcap. We've got number 13, Texas Tech, going on the road to take on number 20, Arizona. Texas Tech comes into this game fresh off a nice kind of blowout win there against Baylor. They had no sort of letdown there after beating number 6, Houston at Houston. So crazy, crazy stuff there. We've loved what we've seen from the Red Raiders lately, guys. Chance McMillan, a monster, 15.5 points per game for him. They're a top 40 team in the nation in points per game, but they're an elite defensive team as well, and they are just putting in the work right now. They're playing amazing. They're currently in third out there in the Big 12, and they've already beaten Houston. This is their chance to knock off Arizona for the second time this season. We saw the Red Raiders beat Arizona 70-54 earlier in the year. That one was at home for Texas Tech. This one's going to be on the road, so we'll see what they can do here. I mean, the Wildcats not playing terrible. They're 16-6 on the year. They've won their last 5 in a row. Their best win during that stretch was against Iowa, and that's obviously an amazing win, but winning at Arizona State and at BYU, like, those are fine, but I'm not really going to be alerting the press. Obviously, this is a very good team. I mean, Caleb Love is a monster, 16.3 points per game, only shooting 39% from the field, though. That's not great, but their numbers on the year for Arizona look incredible. 21st in the nation in points per game, 17th in rebounds per game, and I know that stat is affected by their pace, but still, liking a lot of what we're seeing from Arizona. The Wildcats are 2.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 148.5. Texas Tech, 4-1 against the spread on the road, 12-9-1 to the over. Arizona, 7-4 against the spread at home, and 13-9 to the over. So first up, I like over in this game. I think over is a very, very reasonable play, but better than the over, guys. I like Texas Tech getting 2.5 points on the road. I think they're the better team. I think they proved that the first time these two teams played, and while things can go a lot differently in the second matchup of the season, I don't think that's going to be what happens in this game. That's all we've got for this one, guys. What a monster of a video. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Definitely get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all of our premium college basketball plays that we're going to have for tomorrow. We've got Super Bowl plays coming up. This is one of the best times of year to sign up. And if you don't want to sign up for a premium package, definitely at least get on that email list. You'll get lots of free information straight to your inbox. That's all I've got for today, guys. We will see you tomorrow for more sports betting action.